Whether you're interested in editing photos for social media or wanting to start out on a new hobby, in this video, we're going to break down 5 tips for beginners for editing photos in Adobe Photoshop. Tip number 1, cropping images. When it comes to photography, the best photos are the ones that are able to tell a story. Sometimes when we take a photo, we have unwanted objects on the side or too much negative space. These problems will take away from the subject of the photo. The best and easiest way to solve this is to learn how to crop images. First, select the crop tool. You can either select your desired aspect ratio by using the drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner and choosing from unconstrained, original ratio, or any other presets, or you can choose your own dimensions in the field beside the menu. Another option is to click and drag the corners or the sides of the photo in order to achieve the framing that you want. Hit enter or click the check mark icon to confirm the crop. Tip number 2, straighten the photo. Sometimes when you take a photo, you might be unaware that when you took it, it was crooked. There's no need to worry, and we can easily fix this issue in Photoshop. First, find the ruler tool. Usually, it's behind the eyedropper tool. Just hold and click the eyedropper until you see the ruler in the drop-down menu. Now, in your photo, find a line that would normally be straight and drag a line from the beginning of the straight point all the way to the end of the image. Good examples of this would be a horizon, a top of a table, a floor or ceiling, or a wall. Next, select the button that says Straighten Layer. When you hit enter, your photo will have white edges around it, since it has now straightened the photo. Go back in with the crop tool and crop the photo in a way that gets rid of any extra white space. Tip number 3, correct the exposure. Sometimes in photography, it's tricky to get the lighting right and you might end up with a photo that is either overexposed or underexposed. Depending on the photo, this is something that you can fix. The best way to do this, and to not compromise the original photo, is by using adjustment layers. In the Layers menu in the bottom right-hand corner, click the half filled in circle. When you scroll over it, it should say Create New Fill or Adjustment Layer. The best ones that you will use for correcting exposure are brightness and contrast, levels, curves, and exposure. If this is the first time you're using these tools, they're pretty straightforward. When working with brightness, contrast, levels, and exposure, adjust the sliders until the image is something that you like. Normally, you want your whites bright and your blacks dark. If you want to have a little more control, you might want to look into adjusting shadows and highlights, and even HDR toning. To find these two options, go to Image, Adjustments, Shadows and Highlights, or HDR toning. Tip number 4, removing unwanted content. Sometimes there are objects in your photo that you wouldn't want to have there, either someone in the background, an unfortunate breakout, or even a stain on a shirt. These are just some examples of things that can be adjusted in Photoshop. There are 4 different tools that you can use to easily fix your photo: the Spot Healing Brush tool, the Healing Brush tool, the Patch tool, and the Clone Stamp tool. How to use the Spot Healing Brush. Select the Spot Healing Brush from the left sidebar, also known as the toolbox. Choose a desired brush size, whether you're doing so from the menu above or by using the square brackets on your keyboard. Choose a type, either Content Aware or Proximity Match. You won't need Create Texture for most photos. Most of the time, Content Aware is the best option. Click on the spot that you need to fix. How to use the healing brush. Select the healing brush from the toolbox. If you cannot find it, click and hold on the Spot Healing brush to open a drop-down list. Choose your brush size, select Sampled as your source. Then, Alt-click near the spot you want to fix in order to get a copy of the area. Finally, click on the spot or click and drag the mouse until the spot has been corrected. How to use the patch tool. Select the patch tool. If you cannot find it, click and hold on the spot healing brush to open a drop-down list. Make sure that Source is selected and not Destination. Create a circle around the blemish or spot that you're trying to conceal. Then drag that circle to a different area that would be closest to the color and appearance that you're looking for. When you let go of the mouse, the area that you're correcting will be fixed. How to use the clone stamp. Select the clone stamp icon in the toolbox. Adjust the brush size to what size works best for the spot or blemish. Alt-click to clone a clean area that you'd want to clone. Adjust the opacity of the area if needed. Click and/or drag the mouse around the spot to essentially clone or paint over it. Removing unwanted content with Content Aware. If none of the tools above work for what you need, then using the Content Aware fill might help. The latest version of Photoshop now has a feature called the Content Aware Fill option. This new feature allows you to remove unwanted objects or spots from your photos. First, with your lasso tool, draw a selection around an area or an individual spot that you want to replace. Make sure to keep the circle tight around the spot or area you're trying to conceal. Next, go to Edit, Content Aware Fill. Resize the area and your initial circle by using the sampling brush tool or the lasso tool. Mess with the fill settings to improve the quality of the fill by trying to make it look natural. When you're done, click OK in the bottom right-hand corner. Tip number 5, how to sharpen your photo. Sometimes, even with all the work you put into editing your photo, it's still missing something. And most of the time, it's adding a little bit of sharpen to the image to really make it pop. The key to this, however, is to not add too much sharpen to an image. Otherwise, it will end up creating the opposite effect. First, create a duplicate layer of your photo. On the Layers tab, right-click your image, then Duplicate Layer, and click OK. And then on the duplicate layer, go to Filter, Sharpen, and then select a Sharpen filter. Test which filters really make your photo stand out. Or, if there's something you want to individually bring focus to in a specific area, go to your toolbox and select the Sharpen tool. Then click on the area in the image that you want to sharpen. The reason we use a duplicate layer instead of the main source image allows you to test different filters without making permanent changes to the original photo. Photoshop has so many options that allow you to enhance your photos, and these are just the basics to help get you started. If you're interested in more videos like these, please leave a comment down below, or let us know what other content you'd like to see. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out projectinnovate.com for a chance to win hardware to help support your creativity. We'll see you all in the next video.